Well, I saw a story over the weekend. This one, I just had to share with folks because the irony of this one's absolutely delicious. And that is that Bernie Sanders' campaign workers are kind of up in arms with the campaign right now because they're not even being paid the $15 an hour that Bernie Sanders is calling to make the federal minimum wage across this entire country. You know, he's been on this campaign, and a lot of the Democrats have, to increase the minimum wage. And for some reason, they picked the number $15 an hour, and that's where they want to try to take things, or at least they want to make the political argument that that's where they're taking things. But it's interesting that sauce for the goose is not sauce for the gander. And they want you, if you're a business owner, to have to pay your employees $15 an hour. But now Bernie Sanders has the opportunity in his presidential campaign to put his money where his mouth is, right? He has the opportunity to pay his employees, his campaign employees, this $15 federal minimum wage that he thinks should be the right of everyone who works. He has the chance to do this, and this tells you everything you need to know and understand about socialism. This is it. When Bernie Sanders has the opportunity, he doesn't want to do that, and in fact, he doesn't pay his employees $15 an hour. So when he has the chance to put his money where his mouth is, he says, well, wait a minute, I think I'd rather keep some of that money for something else I want to do. And so now what's the solution? Because this was such bad optics for him that his campaign staff was literally in full-scale rebellion over this issue, that he said, okay, here's what we're going to do. And I just think this is just delicious because this shows you exactly what will happen under socialism. He says, here's what we're going to do. We'll reduce everybody's hours, and then we can pay them $15 an hour. So you can have this hourly wage that you're demanding and that, of course, Bernie Sanders has said you deserve, but you can only have it in a part-time job, right? We can't even employ you full-time. We're going to have to reduce your hours if you want to be paid that. Boy, like Margaret Thatcher said, socialism is great until you run out of other people's money.
That's the best way to put it. One of the quotes that Bernie Sanders made that makes me laugh is he says, it does bother me that people are going outside of the process and going to the media. That's really not acceptable. It is really not what labor negotiations are about, and it's improper.
What should be?
Again, if anything you do, if you want to go to the media, Bernie Sanders, that's what you do. You use the media as your mouthpiece,
right. But
it's not okay when your own employees do that.
Well, what's there to negotiate, Bernie? I mean, I thought it was a human rights issue, right, to pay them $15 an hour. So Why does he want to negotiate that at all? I mean, this is an issue that he's the champion of. He's the champion of this issue. What's there to negotiate?
It should just be like, oh, thank you for bringing that to my attention. Done.
Thank you. How was that not brought to his attention? How is a social justice warrior like Bernie Sanders? He's so busy wanting to take a look at everybody else and say, you're not doing it right. You need to pay them more. He doesn't take 2 seconds and look at himself and look at his own business and say, hey, guys, what are we paying them? Oh, wait, we're not paying our people $15 an hour. Well, certainly we've got to set the example, right? We've got to lead from the front, right? I mean, that's what leadership's about, right? Don't ask somebody else to do that which you're not willing to do yourself. Isn't that right? Well, I think he's displaying exactly what you would expect to get from a socialist leader.
Shh, no one's supposed to know this.
Just like in the USSR. You know, in the USSR, the people who were part of the ruling class, who were part of the, the Duma and other ruling bodies, you know, they lived the finest of lives. They had shops that only they could shop at. They had cars that nobody else had. They ate the finest caviar. They lived the high life. Go down to Cuba. I've been there. I've been to Cuba, and I've seen Fidel Castro's palaces. I've seen the palaces. They're huge. No Cubans are living like that. Those people don't have money. Your average Cuban's making $30 a month, and the Castro boys, which, of course, Fidel's passed on, but the Castro brothers are living in this huge compound with giant walls. Everything they want is provided for them, and they're living off the people in that country, and that's what always happens with socialism. Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.